welcome to Reads and Threads. My name is Kate. Hello if you're new here, welcome back if you're joining us again. Today we're going to be doing a little bit of a catch up on my challenges. So I thought we would look at how well I'm going with my 25 series in 2025. I brought out a video with that, one of my first videos that I did, which I'll link down below at the very beginning of the year, and also how I'm going with my Our Fantasy Bingo Challenge. Again, I will link the original video down below. However, I will go through what I did set originally and then how we're looking now. Hopefully, I'm making a decent progress in all of them, but I do have a feeling that I'm a little bit behind. But let's get into it. I'm going to screen record my computer, pop me up in the corner somewhere, and hopefully it will go seamlessly, but we will see. Okay, let's get into it. I am hoping I have everything set up correctly. We will see. So we're going to look at Our Fantasy Bingo first. So I'm going to start screen recording my computer. So if I'm looking down, it's because I'm recording on my phone and screen recording on my computer. I don't like the mic or camera that is on my computer, and I don't have an extension one, and I think the quality of my camera is just better. So I'm going to embed them over each other, and it worked last time, so I'm hoping it works again this time. Hopefully one day it will be all on one, but for now we work with what we've got. If there is any outside noise or the light changes drastically, it's because we're probably kind of in the middle of a pretty stormy day outside today. So there is wind and all the fun stuff. Anyway, I am going to actually turn off desktop audio because we don't need any audio for this. Start recording and see what we get. So go to the very top. I'm going to zoom out slightly. Okay, here we go. So, Our Fantasy Bingo. If you don't know what it is a year-long challenge where you are trying to complete a bingo board. And it's put together on the subreddit, the fantasy subreddit. I don't intend to log any of this stuff. It was just for my own fun. I don't even know how you log it. I'm not on Reddit really at all. I just saw other people doing the challenge and thought it sounded fun. Each square has a different prompt. So I have popped in a book for each one, and then there is one that just down here that is not a book, where you need to do a cozy fantasy-esque kind of activity. So it was play a new fantasy game, try a new, something fantasy related. I do have something booked in for that from the beginning of the year, and I have started it. Whether I continue, who knows. Okay, so these are the ones that I allocated at the beginning of the year to fit the prompts. So we'll just go through the rows and then we'll go through which ones I have actually completed and if I've swapped any out. In the first row, we have Knights and Paladins. The prompt for this one is one of the protagonists is a paladin or a knight, and for hard mode the character has an oath or a promise to keep. And so for this one I did allocate out The Knight and the Moth by Rachel Gillig. Next we have Hidden Gem, which is a book under 1,000 ratings on Goodreads. The releases and acts from popular authors do not count. And then hard mode, that it was published over 5 years ago, and for that one I've got Chosen by Samantha Britt. We then have published in the 80s, so read a book first published between 1980 and 1989. And hard mode for this was to read a book written by an author of colour. I did not complete hard mode for this one. I did put in Stephen King's The Gunslinger, mainly because I really wanted to try Stephen King out and see what he was like, and this was my best way of doing that. Next up, we have High Fashion, which is read a book where clothing, fashion or fibre arts are important to the plot. Hard mode is the main character makes the clothes and fibres, and this one I've got in This Woven Kingdom by Tahar Mafi. Next up, we have Down with the System. So it's to read a book which in which the main plot revolves around disrupting a system. Hard mode is not a governmental system. I don't think complete hard mode for this one with the Sunrise and the Reaping. On our second row, we have Impossible Places. So it's read a book set in a location that would break a physicist. Hard mode is that at least 50% of the book is set within this place. So I had put in Mark Lawrence's The Book That Wouldn't Burn. Next up, we have a book in parts, which is to read a book separated into large sections within the main text. And hard mode is it has over 4 parts. And Serpent of the Wings of the Night does qualify for hard mode by Carissa Borbrent, so that's the one that's in there for that. Gods and Pantheons, we had read a book featuring divine beings, and hard mode is that there's multiple pantheons involved. So I'd put in The Games Gods Play by Abigail Owen. I wasn't sure at the beginning of the year whether this qualified for hard mode or not, but that was the one that I did pick. Next up, we have Last in a Series, and I popped in the last book in the Wheel of Time series by Robert Jordan and Brandon Sanderson in an effort to get me to finish this series. I have only 2 books left in this series, pretty much, so that was the goal with that one. We then have a book club or read along book, which is to read a book that was in the official Fantasy Reddit book club, and I picked from their list I went through, and I have picked Angel's Blood by Nalini Singh. Down to our third row, we have parent protagonist. So read a book in which the main character has a child to care for. The child does not have to be biologically related to that character. Hard mode is the child is also a main character in the story. I have picked Silverborn by Jessica Townsend, which is the 4th in that series, and there is definitely a parent protagonist in that one. We then have Epistolary, which is a book prominently featuring the following diary, journal entries, letters, messages. Hard mode, the book is entirely in epistolary format, and I put in there Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies, which is all set in a journal entry. Published in 2025, I probably could have put many books in there for this prompt, but I did select Tears of the Wolf by Elizabeth Wheatley. The hard mode is that it's a debut novel of this author. I'm not entirely sure if it is. I would have to look into that. I can't remember one way or the other, but that is the book that I did pick for that one. We then have Author of Colour, read a book written by a person of colour. Hard mode is read a horror. I don't read horror, so that's not going to happen, but I did pick An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir. I'm really eager for this series. We then have small press or self-published, and it says read a book published by a small press or self-published. Hard mode is the book has under 100 ratings on Goodreads. I'm not entirely sure that I fulfilled hard mode with this one, and I read this very early on, so this one was pretty much complete when I set up my board, and that was The Crown of Oaths and Curses by J. Bree. We then move down to our last 2 rows. On the 4th row, we have Biopunk. Read a book that focuses on biotechnology and its consequences. Hard mode is there is no electricity-based technology. I definitely don't complete hard mode for this one, and I wanted to read the next Martha Wells book that I am up to in the Murderbot series, and that is Network Effect. Next up, we have Elves and or Dwarfs, which was read a book that features the classical fantasy archetypes of elves or dwarfs. And the hard mode is that the main character is either an elf or a dwarf. So I've got in here Feybound by Sarah El-Arifi. Then we got the LGBTQIA protagonist. And hard mode is the character is marginalized in at least one additional access. I don't think that this book did hard mode, but this is a gay fantasy story, so it definitely did complete the prompt, and that is Roombinder by Alex R. Kayla. But I'm pretty sure I don't know that I would say it completed hard mode, but I'm happy with the choice that I did make for that one. We then have 5 SFF short stories. Any short stories hard mode is to read an entire SFF anthology or collection, and for this one I have down Anne Bishop's The Lady in Glass and Other Stories. We then have Stranger in a Strange Land, which is to read a book that deals with being a foreigner in a new culture, and the hard mode is the main character is an immigrant or refugee. I'm not entirely sure how this one counts, but because I still, spoiler, haven't read it, but I have got down Quicksilver by Callie Hart. And our last line is recycling a bingo square. So for this one, I think I went with gothic fantasy, possibly. And I have picked to read Belladonna by Adeline Gray. Then we have Cozy FFF. So cozy it up preferences to find a comforting and genre typical. Hard mode is the author is new to you. So I will complete hard mode for this one, and I have picked Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree. We then have generic titles. Read a book that has one or more of the following words in the title, which is blood, bone, broken core, dark shadow, song, sword, or throne. You can use plurals. And hard mode is that the title contains more than one of the listed words or contains at least one word and color, number, or animal. So 5 Broken Blades does get us hard mode, and that is the book that I've slotted in for that. Now, the next one was not a book, which was to play or do something besides reading that was fantasy based. So I was going to play Potion Permit on my Switch and do that. Hard mode is to write a review about it, which will not be happening. I don't know if I have to fully complete the game. So I don't technically have to finish the game, and I have started this one, so maybe I could say that that was finished. I was under the impression I had to finish the game, so I may have completed more than I thought. We then have our last square, which is Pirates, which is to read a book where the characters engage in piracy. Hard mode is not seafaring pirates, unfortunately. This book, they are seafaring pirates, so I do not complete hard mode, but I do have in here Fable Fight by Adrian Young. So let's have a look and see how I am going. So if we scroll down, you can see that I have completed 3 from the first row. So I have done Knights and Paladins, published in the 80s, and Down with the System. So not a bingo across the top yet. So I do still have Hidden Gem and High Fashion to go there, but I'm pretty happy with that progress. On our next row, I have, you'll see, swapped out a book. So I did try A Book That Wouldn't Burn by Matt Lawrence and DNF'd it. So I would not be able to use that one for the Impossible Places, but I did listen to Dungeon Crawler Carl by Matt Dinnerman and absolutely loved it. And that definitely gets us hard mode as well. Over 50% of that book is in the Impossible Place, which is the dungeons that are created in the earth by the aliens. So I think I'm all good for that. Really love this series and eager to continue on. I have then finished off Serpent in the Wings of the Night by Carissa Broadbent. It ended up having definitely over 4 parts, so it has completed hard mode. I gave it 5 stars. Absolutely loved it. I still do have the next 3 on this row to complete, so as you can see, definitely not a bingo across there yet either. Going on down, again, I have read 3 of the next row. So I have done Parents, Pistolary, and Self-Pubbed. And still have a 2025 new release and Author of Colour, but I do hopefully plan on getting to those ones very soon. I really have enjoyed the majority of the ones that I have read so far. On our 4th row, again, I have swapped out a book. So I've only done 2 on this row, and you'll see I have done the LGBTQIA+ square with Roombinder, and I have swapped out the Lady of Glass by Anne Bishop, and I've put in here Dawn of Mist by Helen Schurer instead. This was a set of short stories that came at the end of the Oromir series and really added to the series as a whole. So there were over 5 of them, and it was like they were all together in a set, so I just thought that they worked really well, so I have swapped that out. I still do need to get to Quicksilver, like I said, Faybound and Network Effect, but hopefully soon. We are running out of time though. And last but not least, we have only 1 done on the bottom row, which is Fable. Although now that I've read again that you don't have to finish the game, there's no rule, it says on here, there is no rule about how many episodes of a show will count or whether or not you have to finish the video game. New is the key word. So I think actually we might say that that one is complete, because I did start Potion Perma, I do plan on going back to it and playing a bit more, but I have definitely started it. So I have completed that one as well. So I'll zoom out a bit and we can have a little bit of a look at the board as a whole. I've got a 4 in a row diagonally, so there's that. But overall, you can see I still have a fair bit of work to do. This one doesn't need to be finished until the end of March, so that is good because like we can see I have a bit of reading to catch up on. But overall, I'm fairly happy with the ones that I have managed to get to, and I am still super eager to get to the other ones on this board. The only one that I could possibly consider swapping out is the End Dinner series. There is multiple series that I have finished this year that aren't the Wheel of Time, so we'll see how we go. If towards the end I don't look like I'm going to actually get to this one, I might end up swapping it out for another book that I have finished that is the end of a series. But for now, I'm going to keep the Wheel of Time in. We'll see how we go. But that is our fantasy bingo. So happy with that. How are you going with yours? I would love to know. Let's move on now and have a look at my 25 series in 2025. My 25 series in 2025, I did turn into a bit of a bingo board for myself, just to make it a bit more helpful, let's say, just so I could see what I'd put together. I've also made up another canvas sheet, which I'll show you. It just breaks down the series a bit more, where I'm up to in each one and how many books they all had, that kind of thing. This is the bingo board of all the series that I was hoping to at least start in 2025, if not finish. I would love to finish a lot of these, but that's not always feasible. I'll zoom in a bit and we can have a bit of a look at them a bit closer up. So we did have the Wheel of Time. I would love to finish that off this year. We'll see how we go. We had Rebel Witch by Kristen Cicerelli, the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas, the Fire Study series by Maria V. Schneider, Nevermore by Jessica Townsend. For this one, I just wanted to catch up, so read Silverborn and complete that. We had reading up to Onyx Storm for Rebecca Yarros's Empyrean series. Continuing on with the Dorinda Jones Harley Davidson series, which I was up to at the beginning, 6th grade, On the Edge, so continuing on with that one. We then had Malice by John Gwynne. Now, I was doing this one for Catch Up Book Club, so I knew that this one was pretty much guaranteed to get done, but I wanted to add it in here. We then have Powerless by Lauren Roberts, Red Rising by Pierce Brown. We have a couple of Nora Roberts ones next. That was the Cousins O'Dwyer trilogy, which the first one in that one is Dark Witch. And then we have the Dragonheart Legacy trilogy for that one as well, with The Awakening being the first one. We then have The Fate Inked in Blood duology by Danielle L. Jensen, Quicksilver by Callie Hart, and the next book in this one is about to come out in November, so getting those two read would be awesome. I then wanted to try Hank Cole's Spark of the Everflame series. I can't think off the top of my head what that one is actually called, the series title. Oh, The Kindred's Curse. Sorry, I can read that. The Kindred's Curse. So that one there. We then have, I'm just going to zoom in a little bit more. Belladonna by Adeline Grace. I really have been intrigued by this series and wanted to give that one a go. We then have Lynette Noni's Prison Healer series. I really enjoyed the Lynette Noni that I have read and really wanted to try this series out. Rachel Gillig's One Dark Window. She has quickly become one of my favourite authors and I'm really enjoying what I have read from her. So that duology there. Amber in the Ashes, which did appear in my Our Fantasy Bingo. I'm really eager to get to this series, like I said, so want to do the quadrilogy that is. I've heard such good things about Samantha Shannon's Bone Season, and now that they have also been rewritten and are meant to be even better. So I really want to try out that. We then have Moongold by Patricia Briggs for her Mercy Thompson series. So many people have told me I need to read this. So really eager to try that one out at some point. Angel's Blood by Nalini Singh I had put in my Our Fantasy Bingo as well. But again, this is another series, the Guild Hunters, that again I've been told multiple times that I need to try out. And The Crowns of Nyaxia by Carissa Broadbent. Carissa Broadbent was an author that I was hearing a lot about and really eager to try out. So we have the first in both of her series, so Serpent in the Wings of the Night and Daughter of No Worlds. And then Robin Hobb. I have owned Robin Hobb books for so many years and never picked them up. So really hoping to step into the realm of the Elderlings and give them a go. And the first one in that one is Assassin's Apprentice. So on here I have created another board where I started crossing out the ones that I have actually started to get to. And you can see just from these first couple of lines that I'm not doing too bad along the first two lines. So I have managed to cross out 4 from the top and 3 from the second line. So that is pretty good. We'll go into a bit more detail, but at the moment I'm happy with my progress. The third line though, none. So that one could do with a bit of work. As we make our way down, we only have 1 on our 4th line, and on our second line we have 2. So we are getting there. Whether we're getting there sufficiently, who knows? Let's look a bit more in depth into the series individually and see how likely I am to actually finish them. Over on this chart here, I do have the series broken down onto pages with each of the book covers. And I just thought this was a cool little graph that I could do, like just to help. And then I have tried to put in a date when I started the series originally, if I knew, because some of them I've been reading for so long that I can't remember. Hence, I started The Wheel of Time sometimes around 2003, maybe. Of the main body of the series, I only have these 2 left, so Towers of Midnight and The Memory of Light, although I have never read New Spring either. Whether I want to read New Spring, I don't know. I don't own it, but I just really want to finish this series, but I also am not eager to pick it up at all. Hopefully at one point I will be able to mark this off, and like it is on my Our Fantasy Bingo to try and help with that as well. But at this stage, it's not looking good. I have reread some of these with Rosamund Pike's audio, which was so good. I would highly recommend her audio of the first 4 if you haven't tried them out. I just really hope she continues on, because I could see myself like knocking them off so quick with her audio. But yeah, I'm struggle busting it with this one. If we scroll down, we have The Crimson Moth duology, which was by Kristen Cicerelli, and I have fully completed this series. So I started this one on the 30th of November 2024, and I did manage to finish The Rebel Witch on the 22nd of March 2025. So really enjoy this series. I did love The Crimson Moth, and I did enjoy this one more than The Rebel Witch. Overall, really good series. Highly recommend if you haven't picked it up already. But that is one fully complete series. So there is that. I'm happy with that. We then go down to Throne of Glass. This series I started on the 27th of December 2024, and I did manage to finish the whole thing by the 9th of March 2025. So really happy with that. I did really enjoy my time in the world and would highly recommend doing Empire of Storms and Tower of Dawn in the tandem read. It was awesome. I listened to these on audio, so I did have to like jump backwards and forwards a fair bit, but it was so good. I definitely recommend reading those 2 together, and overall a really cool series. Then we have Poison Study by Maria V. Schneider. I really enjoyed the first book, Poison Study. I thought it was great. It started to lose me a bit in Magic Study. It was getting very slow. I wasn't really liking the way it was heading. And then by the time we got to Fire Study, I was done. I think I got 30%, if that, into that book before I canned it. So I started this series on the 27th of September, and I DNF'd it on the 5th of February 2025. So that will be one that I've marked off on the board, as you would have seen. But I will not be finishing it off completely, and have since unhauled the books from my library as well. We then go down to Nevermore. So in September, I did manage to read Silverborn, and I had an absolutely awesome time with it. I've gave it 5 stars. This whole series are 5-star books. So I originally started this one on the 27th of December 2024 and have enjoyed my time completely with all of Nevermore. So if you haven't read these, I would definitely highly recommend. I actually feel like that start date isn't right. I reckon I've copied that from the one before because I read these a long time ago. So I'm not entirely sure of that start date, but I'm pretty sure. Let's actually delete that because I don't think that start date is correct. So I'll find an actual start date somewhere and see if I can pop that in. Then we go down to the Imperium series. I managed to catch up on the 25th of January 2025. I started this series on the 21st of November 2024. So probably did start it a fair bit later than a lot of people. My sister was bugging me to read it and pick it up, but I generally have this thing where I don't want to start a series before it's all out, which has changed a bit since I started my YouTube channel, but I still highly stick to that where I can because you forget what's happened and then you just end up having to reread stuff. But I have caved and enjoyed my time immensely. I have given them all 5 stars. The audio narration for these is extremely good. I haven't physically read any of these, which I do own special editions of them now, so I would love to give them a go physically as well, and I may one day. But for now, I am all caught up and eagerly awaiting book 4. With Charlie Davidson, I started this series on the 24th of February in 2018, so it has been a fair while. I haven't picked up any since then, and I do have 2 out now from the library, so I can continue on and hope that I will get those in my game soon or be able to pick one of them up. But for now, no progress has been made on this series. We then have The Faithful and the Fallen. Like I said, the first book in this is Malice. I started this with the Catch Up Book Club from Becca and the Books on the 31st of December 2024, and I finished the series on the 27th of July 2025. And I am in the middle of the second series that comes after this one and really enjoying John Gwynne. I'm super glad I joined up with the Catch Up Book Club and tried a new author I'd never tried before and have really enjoyed my time in The Faithful and the Fallen. We then go down to Powerless. I haven't read any of these, so that is still on my to-do list, but we'll see how we go. We then have Red Rising by Pierce Brown. I read Red Rising, I started it on the 24th of March 2025, and I haven't actually picked up any of the others yet in this series. I have crossed it off as complete for my 2025 challenge. I wanted to start a series. I liked it. I didn't love it. So I am interested to see where it goes from now on, but who knows? I do still intend to give it a go, and Golden Sun I do have a copy of here. I just haven't picked it up yet. So that is an ongoing series. We then have the Cousins O'Dwyer trilogy. I have added Dark Witch into Herkhead as well. It's come up in my TBR challenge, I think, on there. So that one will definitely be getting done soon. But as you can see, I haven't started this one at all, but really looking forward to it. So I'm hoping it's going to be good. The same with Nora Roberts' other trilogy. Again, one that I am eager to get into. Not eagerly eager, but I'm just eager to get into it. But again, haven't started, so that couldn't get marked off yet. It's the same with the Saga of the Unfated. I'm getting worse the further down the list we get. Again, haven't started. This one is only a duology, so hopefully I can get to it soon. Same with Fae and Alchemy. I am really eager. So Brimstone comes out in November. I'm hoping to do this one so that I can read Brimstone fairly soon after it comes out. I do have a lovely new edition of Quicksilver now that I've shown off in previous videos. So really eager to see if this is a series for me. Same with Kindra's Curse. I think in my next unboxing video we will see a nice edition of this series, the first one anyway. So really eager to get to this. And technically the fourth one isn't out yet. So if I could at least get up to reading the fourth one, that would be great. But we'll see how we go. Belladonna is on my Our Fantasy Bingo, so I'm hoping to start that one soon. Holly has just come out, so I'm really eager to get to this. I don't think Holly is overall as long as the others. I think it's more like a novella. I really want to try them, and hopefully soon. We then go down again to The Prison Healer, which I haven't started. Another series I am super eager to get to. I was really hoping that by having this challenge, it would prompt me to get to more of these throughout the year, but hasn't actually been able to happen yet. But hopefully, I still am fingers crossed. The Shepherd King duology, I have read One Dark Window. Woohoo! So I read that in September. I managed to fit it into the Readathon Rebellion. And then Two Twisted Crowns is actually my free pick from my game Reach Castle for October, and I'm literally about to start this today. So hopefully this will have a series finished date on it very soon, and it's definitely one that I could have marked off the challenge just with reading One Dark Window, but glad that I'll be able to have say that I fully finished the duology. Ember in the Ashes, again, is on my Our Fantasy Bingo. Highly eager, like I've said multiple times, to get to this one and really want to start it soon. Looking forward to that one. Same with the Bone Season. Again, I haven't started them. Really eager to get to them. This is just getting repetitive now. Hopefully soon. Mercy Thompson. I have read Mooncalled. So I did read that in June. I've started the series. Looking forward to getting to the rest of them. It was a mid-range book for me, so I think I gave it 3.5. I did enjoy Mercy. It was interesting. I am just hoping that the series gets better as it goes, and that one was just a lot of setup. It seems very of its time at the moment, but hoping that I really enjoy it as much as my sister and one of my other friends. We then have Guild Hunter. I have managed to get my hands on a copy of Angel's Blood, which I was really happy about. I found it secondhand the other week in really good condition. So that one is still getting written as well. So there's still some of this series coming out as we speak. So super eager to get to these ones. I do really like these multicolored covers. Hopefully it won't be too long. And like I said with most things, that one's in my Our Fantasy Bingo as well. So it will definitely get started before April. Whether I manage to get to that before the end of the year, who knows? Fingers crossed, because then I could just cross it off on my as achieved on this challenge, and it would be awesome. Crowns of Nyaxia, I have done a bit better with. So in September, when we were doing Readathon Rebellion, I did manage to slot in both A Serpent and the Wings of the Night and Six Scorched Roses. And I'm super excited to find out what's going to happen in The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King and see how that all just interconnects. Because I was told you definitely needed to read Six Scorched Roses before you went into Ashes. And at the moment, I'm not seeing why, but super eager to find out. We have also now got a cover for The Lion and the Deathless Dark, so I might switch that out. But looking forward to that as well. So if I could even get a bit more of this series read. Technically, I have completed the challenge aspect of it to start, but we'll see how we go. War of Lost Hearts, though, I haven't started. And one of my challenge in Herkhead is to read a fighter book that has Mother in the title. And the only one that I have is this third book here. So if I could get that done for Herkhead, that would be great. And The Realm of the Elderlings, I haven't started. So overall, not the best, but if we just zoom out, I am pretty happy overall with how we are going. I'm definitely behind, even if I wanted to cross them off to say that I had started at least one in each series. But we'll see how we go. I nearly have a bingo across the top, but the fact that I put Wheel of Time first is scuppering that. Hopefully the game will be nice to me, or I'll be able to add in some more of these now that I've changed the game slightly, but we will see how we go. As you can see with both challenges, I do have a fair bit of work to do. I wouldn't even say that I was 50% done with my 25 series in 2025, and we have 2 months left of the year. I'm literally about to play Reach the Castle for November and see what we're going to be reading in November. And I think that having the game does kind of stifle me a little bit in the sense of giving myself a challenge. I'm not just picking up those books randomly because they're not on my TBR. And my TBR becomes fairly decent sized, which was the point, so that I had options within the month. But they're not any of those books. If I don't complete it, I don't complete it. And I was probably fairly ambitious in putting series on there instead of just picking 25 books. I am really enjoying all the challenges that I am doing. I am starting, I think, to look into ones that I could possibly do next year. I really wish that I was doing the Outer journey that I've seen a lot of people do, which kind of goes along with Aurelium by G from Book Roast, which I'll link all that down below as well. But yeah, so maybe that's something we can pick up next year. But for now, that's where I'm at. So how are you going with your challenges? I'd really be eager to know. I do release a video once a week, and if you'd like to see how I end up going, please hit that subscribe button. At the end of the year, we will go over again in a couple of months and see how I finished, especially my 25 series in 2025, and then come up with something cool for next year that will help us focus on some things. Anyway, hope your challenges are going well. I've also linked down below my Goodreads, my Storygraph, and my Instagram if you'd like to come and follow me over on any of those. And I hope that wherever you are, you're having a really wonderful day. And we'll see you next time. Bye.